I am President Chad, and you are watching the United Hour Fantasy Blitz. I really enjoy that intro music, you know what I'm saying? In the house with me is the man Adelaide. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing really, really, really good. Probably not as good as you right now, but I am doing but I am doing
Yeah,
good.
you know what I mean? Manchester United handled the business against Liverpool last night. So
Whew.
yes, I'm still riding high. I'm still riding high where that is
Yeah, yeah,
concerned.
yeah, yeah.
Um, so what would we be talking about in the program today? We're going to be talking about key players that you should be looking to bring into your fantasy team. And as always, in our first show in the week, on the Fantasy Blitz, we're also going to be looking to give you a little bit of advice, in terms of managing your fantasy team throughout the
Yeah.
season. So, Alice, who are the now when we say key players, what we're talking about are players that probably not on your team. We're not talking about people like Salah. A lot of us would have
Yeah.
Salah. I'm not talking about Alexander and a lot of people. Not talking about Cancelo. You're not gonna hear those kind of names. We're talking about people who are on a hot streak right now. So you may
Mhm.
not have had them on your team as yet, but you should be looking to bring them into your team this
Yeah.
week. You understand? That is who we're going to be talking about. Who's one of those first guys for you that you looking at to definitely bring into your team?
Um, definitely for me, the main man right now, had to have to be Rodrigo. I think he's really relishing in the entire system at Leeds, and especially with the void that was left when Rafinha left. He has been exploiting that so far this season. It
I
gave
mean,
him not just a more direct role, he has a more green light role. The same role Rafinha has, and he has a better finishing quality. And so far, he has been delivering the points game after game.
yeah,
So it doesn't really matter.
week
Hmm?
one, 7 points. Week two, he had 15 points. This week
Yeah,
against Chelsea of all teams, he had 13 points. So
yeah,
Rodrigo is definitely a hot man. And let me just let people know the teams that Rodrigo are going to be coming up against next. In next 4 games for Rodrigo is Brighton, Everton, Brentford, and Nottingham Forest. So I
very
mean,
nice for
come
our
on.
fixtures.
When you
Yeah.
look at those are really nice fixtures for Rodrigo. So you definitely want to
To
get
get him in,
Rodrigo into
yeah,
it.
definitely want to get that guy in.
Another person that I think is definitely worth mentioning is Pascal Gross from Brighton.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
He at first I thought, first game he was lucky with 2 goals. Thought it was going to be a flash in the pan kind of thing, but Brighton has been unbeaten. You
mm,
understand? They beat Manchester United in their first game. They had kept a clean sheet, 0-0 draw against Newcastle and West Ham. They beat West Ham. And then when you look at the fixtures, their fixtures are also very good. They got Leeds and Fulham next. They have Leicester, and let's be real, Leicester has been conceding a lot of goals.
yeah,
And then they have Bournemouth and Crystal Palace. The next 5 games for Brighton are good games. So if
yeah,
you're looking for a Brighton player, which you should be looking for, Pascal Gross is definitely
yeah.
somebody
Really
to
good
look for.
option.
Rodrigo is 6.3 million right now. Pascal Gross is 5.7 million. So
Oh
those
wow.
are fairly reasonable players. Um, what about Zaha? What do you think about Zaha? I think
Oh
he's
yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, right up there. I think at the moment, rubbing shoulders. I think literally with Rodrigo, Zaha is a player that you really want to go for. I think for anybody watching this show as well, we have been seeing with especially how they have updated the fantasy this season. Um, in terms of price increases and price decreases, it's a lot more rapid or almost more real time in terms of how the prices are fluctuating. And I think that they are at reasonably good prices, like for what they're delivering right now. So I think the earlier you could get Zaha in your team because he has been the talisman for Crystal Palace for quite a while. This season he definitely has been a lot more mature and a lot more crisp with actually finishing off plays. Get Zaha in your team, like have to, have to.
No, the only thing with Zaha is that the next team that Crystal Palace plays is Manchester City. So I don't know that you necessarily want to move for
Mm-hmm.
Zaha right away, but then he is, if
Right?
anybody is likely to get points from Crystal Palace against City, Zaha is that person. But
Exactly.
a
Yeah.
lot of easier the fixtures get better after that. Brentford and Newcastle, and then they have Manchester United and then Brighton. So after Man City, 2 easy games for Crystal Palace. So definitely that's somebody that you should be looking out for. Now, everybody we gave you all so far are midfielders. In terms of defenders, we want to dissuade you all from running down Saliba, right?
Yeah.
Yes, he's 1.6 million. Yes, right now he's the highest scoring defender in the game because Arsenal has gotten two clean sheets, and he got 14 points this week going here, But this Saliba is not going to be scoring much goals, right?
Yeah. I don't foresee him scoring a lot neither.
And even though Arsenal have very good fixtures, and I would encourage anybody, if you don't have at least 2 Arsenal players, and you should, if it's one team you're looking for the triple up for, it should be Arsenal, not Liverpool.
Yeah.
And it don't necessarily have to be Man City because Man City assets tend to be a little expensive. So
Mhm.
if you have 2 Man City assets, you're good. But with the fact that you have Martinelli on small money, right? A little 6 point something, the fact that you have Zinchenko inside there, the fact that you have Ramsdale, right, who's been doing well, and the
Yeah.
games that have coming up, you should find yourself 3 Arsenal players in
Yeah.
it,
Agreed.
right? And that being said, Salibia, we don't advise to be one, right?
Yeah, not to run him down right now. I think he has done well. He continued the same vein. I'm seeing the same Saliba that I've seen at Marseille. Who is quite composed. He is an aerial threat, obviously. And he scored a good goal the other day. A really, really good goal, more of a striker's finish. However, I one of the main reasons why I'm trying to persuade people not to run down Saliba is because um, Arsenal really hasn't met up with any of the real giant teams as yet. And with that being said, they got 2 clean sheets in their first 3 games, but they haven't really met a team that that will really push them to that point. And I think running for Saliba at that point in time, um, it could come back to bite you later on. He will play well, but you may only get 2 points from him for a good couple of games coming down in the later part of things. So
Yeah, because
yeah, good points. Don't
who you
run down
really
Saliba. He's a good buy if you have him. Keep him, but
who you really want to you really want is point getters, Arsenal attackers. You want to really get those. Look at those guys. Obviously, most of you would have Jesus already, but if you don't, you need to get that guy Martinelli. Every week he's been doing something. You need to have him on your team as well. You could look at Saka, or the reason why I said Zinchenko is because he plays in that kind of wing back role. He's going to get forward. He's going to put crosses in the box. So there's always that opportunity for some kind of attack in return from him, way more than any of the center backs. Yeah, guys. So we need to talk about some strikers. We spoke about midfielders. We spoke about some defenders that you should be looking to target this week. And we need to talk about Ivan Toney
yep,
and Mitrovic. I think these are 2 guys, when you look at the fixtures they have coming up, Toney in particular,
yeah,
Brentford fixtures are, looking good for at least about 7, 8 fixtures. They play in Everton next. Everton are
Not
just a
looking good.
team. Yeah, but Everton just looking for licks. All right, they
Yeah,
are
yeah.
asking if to beat them. All right, Crystal Palace is not going to be the easiest game, but it's also not one of the harder games. They have
Mm,
Leeds, Southampton, and Brentford will really play a hard team until game week 8 when they take on Arsenal. And even
right.
after that is Bournemouth, Newcastle, and Brighton.
Favorable
So
fixtures, a lot too.
yeah, definitely some good fixtures. You could definitely target Tony. And then we also have Mitrovic, who has been a revelation
Oh
coming back to
yes.
Premier League. You know what I'm saying? Mitrovic has 3 goals already, 3 goals in 3 matches.
You know,
Um, the only thing is they have some tough fixtures, so you may want to wait until game week 8 to bring
yeah,
Mitrovic into your team because next they have Arsenal, then Brighton, and then Spurs and Chelsea.
yeah.
So you probably
Tough.
don't want to invest in Fulham players until game week 8 when they have Nottingham Forest, and then the fixtures kind of get a little easier
Easier.
after that. But put Mitrovic
Yeah, I
on
agree
your
with that.
watch list. He is definitely somebody that you need to be keeping an eye on because he seemed to be serious this season.
Yeah. He's
Um,
probably one of the most experienced strikers in the Premier League this season as well. So he could pop up with some goals in some of the big matches too. But as you said, don't risk it just yet because there's the fantasy Premier League we're talking about, and he's not guaranteed to deliver against those big teams.
correct. So the one piece of advice additionally that we want to give you all before we shut it down is you need to think ahead when you're organizing your
Hmm.
fantasy team. Don't just look at who scored a lot of points in the week past and always buy those players. I mean, yes, it's 3 weeks in, and we talk about Pascal Gross is somebody you should be looking at, and we talk about some of these players that have had a good start,
Yeah,
but not you also have to look at what is the likelihood of these players to replicate that consistently.
true.
So the players that we would have been speaking to you all about are players that showed based on the opposition that they're going to play, right? Based on the upcoming fixtures,
Mm,
you expect them to get points. These are the kind of things you have to look at. You don't go and run
yeah,
down, okay, Mitrovic had a goal, you go and run down Mitrovic, and the next game is against Arsenal. You expecting Fulham to have a good game against Arsenal? I'm not. So you have to
yeah.
plan your transfers based on future points and don't
Hmm.
just base all your transfers based on past points.
True.
So anything you wanna add to
Um,
that, Liz,
yeah,
before we shut it down?
I think what I want to add is something that I have seen across many teams so far. Your goalkeeper at best is going to give you probably 7 points. Except if you get like a penalty save and save points like what Martinez got. Um, don't if you have a free transfer unless both your goalkeepers probably injured or out, or if you have 2 transfers, you could probably use one on a goalkeeper if you think you really, really need to. But don't just waste your transfers on a goalkeeper because even if your goalkeeper don't get a clean sheet, particularly a lot of people have Raya. Brentford face a lot of shots, so you're going to get some save points in there. Don't waste your transfer and your little bit of money on the goalkeeper necessarily. Um, that is something you could always organize and switch up when you're using either a free hit or a wild card going down. But I've seen so many people doing it so far. They switching keepers like outfield players, and that tends to backfire. It tends to backfire a
Yeah,
lot, and it will force you
that
to do the minus game.
that almost come like a wasted transfer.
Yeah, yeah. So hold on to your keepers. I mean, they may not be giving you all the 8 and 9s all the time you may be hoping for. But if you use the transfers that you have wisely and on some of the players that we may have advised here, you may be reckoning, you might get 2 from a goalkeeper, but you may bring in a player that could give you a 13, a 10, a 14 even. You know, so don't waste it on the goalies, people. Don't waste it on the goalies. I expected so many people to go for Martinez because Martinez saved a penalty and got 10 points. So a lot of people may want to bring him in. But don't panic, guys. Listen to me. Do not panic just yet.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't
Early
do
days still. So we're going to be showing you our teams, how we did this week, and what are our transfer plans heading into week 4.
Mhm.
So look out for that show on Friday, please, God.
Yep.
This is the Fantasy Blitz saying, have a good day, people.
Have a good one, guys.
Support the United Hour. Click that like button and subscribe.